Learned Behavior by Orphaned Account on AO3. Episode 11, Chapter 1. Hitoshi was running very, very late. It wasn't his fault the train was delayed. Villain attack. What's new? But it was true that he left Denki's house at the same time he was meant to be home. So, I'm a little late. They probably won't care. It's fine. I'm only... He checked his watch. 2 hours late. Huh. Fuck. He slowed to a brisk walk when he got to the Yamada Aizawa household. The windows were dark, which was expected. They both usually worked in the kitchen, or they were out on patrol. He climbed up the stairs with a practiced silence. He took a deep breath and knocked the door. Carefully, quietly, he pushed it open. Even if they don't care that I was out late, they'll definitely care if I woke them up. He stepped inside, still quiet, and put his shoes in the spot by the door. Then he looked up. Fuck. Yamada and Aizawa were staring at him in the kitchen. How did I not notice the kitchen lights were on? Am I really that out of practice? They stood in silent starring competition. The adults, in a shocked silence. Hitoshi, a deer caught in headlights. Hizashi spoke first. He normally did. His voice was silently choked. Hitoshi? He didn't know what to say to that, so he didn't say anything. Hizashi spoke again. Hitoshi, where were you? You said you'd be home 2 hours ago. We've been so worried. That surprised him. He hadn't expected them to notice he was late, much less worry about him. He still didn't know what to say, but he had to say something. He settled on brevity. Out. That, as it said it out, was all wrong things to say. Damn it! Aizawa crossed his arms before he spoke. A defensive position. He's not happy, but why? Out. He started walking in the direction of his room, hoping to get out of whatever situation this was. He didn't make it 4 steps before Aizawa spoke. We're not done with this conversation. Hitoshi's blood went cold. He's mad. Why is he mad? It's not like I was doing anything illegal, I just lost track of time. Don't most adults like it when kids are out of the house anyways? He was careful to keep his questions to himself. He was already in trouble for one thing. No need to add another quirk assault to the list. I don't see what there is to talk about. Hizashi spoke up again. He was mad. Nothing to talk about. I think there's plenty. Do you want me to make a list? His voice got louder. You stay out 2 hours after Pascu. No text, no call, nothing. We don't know where you are. Shouta called you. I called you. Nothing. He stopped to take a breath. Hitoshi struggled to stay calm. He was terrified, blood pumping, breath racing. He didn't let it show, though. He messed up. He deserved to get yelled at. This is fine. Just stay calm. Diffuse the situation. Everything's going to be fine as long as they don't get angrier. Aizawa cut through his thoughts. Why didn't you answer the phone? Aizawa asked. He cleared his throat. It died. He looked down at his feet, trying to disconnect. He could make it until he got back to his room. He could make it. Aizawa scoffed. Hitoshi held back a flinch. While Hizashi tried to collect himself, Aizawa spoke up again. Where were you? It was less a question and more demand. He settled on honesty. Lying would probably just get him into more trouble. Denki's house. Kaminari? Yes, sir. Hitoshi whispered. There was a moment of chilling silence. Hizashi broke it. Shouta and I clearly have some things to discuss. Go to your room. Hitoshi didn't have to be told twice. Things to discuss. Things to discuss? Fuck. Punishments or... rehoming. Which one is more likely? Fuck. Hitoshi was sitting with one ear to the door. As much as he tried, he just couldn't hear what the men were saying. Hizashi was still louder than Aizawa. Some things never change. But still couldn't make out anything more than an exasperated, Shouta! It didn't matter. He could guess what they were discussing. Rehoming. He'd been sent away for less in the past. Stupid. This is the best house I've ever been in, and I threw it all away. And for what? Denki? I said I'd risk it all for him, but I didn't mean it like this. He got up and walked over to his closet. I wonder when they'll send me. Will I still be able to go UA? I guess it doesn't matter. There's no way Aizawa would let the foster kid he kicked out to be in his class. He pulled out a change of clothes and stuffed them into his backpack. What if it's just a punishment? Aizawa and Hizashi seemed like lenient people. Some kind of 3-strike system, maybe? This would really only be my first offense, unless they count it when I took those granola bars from the kitchen without asking, or when I made Aizawa take care of me when I had that migraine. He sighed. That would be my 3rd strike, then. He's arguably my worst offense. Great note to go on, guess. Go big or go home. He grabbed a few things off his desk. Phone charger, water bottle, cash, and a picture of him with Aizawa and Hizashi. It doesn't matter if it's a punishment or rehoming. I'm not sticking around for either. He opened his window and pushed the screen out. Sighing, he took one more look around the room before slipping out onto the night. Hitoshi kept a steady pace as he walked from the house. He wasn't running. This was by design. He ran away enough times to know what you couldn't actually run. They made you look suspicious. It's amazing what you could get away with if you act like you know what you're doing. He tried to fall asleep. He really did. Park benches weren't really known for the comfort, and he was still high on adrenaline. His stomach rumbled. Well, there's something I can do. Not many places are open at 2 in the morning. It's a shame, because in Hitoshi's opinion, 2 in the morning is the ideal mealtime. He was following his GPS to a little bonga that claimed to be open 24/7. The food wasn't going to be great, but it was better than nothing. I've lived off of granola bars before, I can do it again. He was still looking at his phone when he bumped into someone. On instincts, he said, "Sorry." He started to keep walking, but whoever he ran into grabbed his shoulder. He froze. Shit. Am I being mug? Is this going to turn into a thing? I'm not really in the right headspace to fight right now. Hitoshi, what are you doing out this late? He knows that voice. Shit. Alright, I love that. Now, I think this is the first time I've done episodes and chapters. Okay, sorry. Let me clarify. Had my episode and chapter thing when I have fics that are from multiple series. At least I think. If not, well, fuck me. But I am going to be doing the episodes and chapters. So, while this is episode 11, it is chapter 1 of this new part of the series. So the episode will not start over, only the chapters, because it is only chapter 1. But the episodes will stay the same, so you can go in chord with that. So it is episode 11, and not 1 or 10. It is episode 11, tomorrow is going to be episode 12, but chapter 2. Get that point? Yeah. Okay. Alright, that's all I had to say on that part. Hitoshi ran away. I'm guessing we had a little bit of maybe a time skip. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's just a couple days or whatever. I don't think it's significant since Hitoshi is still resorting to these type of behaviors. I will say the thought of, I think the reason why he ran away is, one, he doesn't want to cloud his, okay. Now, one might say, okay, why would you run away if it's just a punishment? Take the punishment and stay in a good house. But in Hitoshi's mind, he might rather leave than be punished, or even worse, kicked out, because he would want the image in his head of Hizashi and Aizawa to stay as is, right? He doesn't want to think that they're going to ground him, or not ground him, but punish him, and be the type of family that punish him like that. And he doesn't want that image in his head, right? He doesn't want that of them. He doesn't want to think of them capable of such things. But he also doesn't want them to just rehome him. He doesn't want to see that. So what better than to just run? It happens a lot, more than you could think. Not with just families and stuff like that, but I mean in real life. A lot of the times, you break up with someone and you don't know why you broke up with them. You're so weirded out on why you would have broken up with this person, and then you realize, or maybe you don't realize, but deep down inside, the reason why you did it is because you felt as though the other person was going to push away, and so instead of holding on tighter, you pushed away. It's a defense mechanism. It is a mechanism that people who have never had someone close to them do. Sometimes, when you've never had a true friend or you've never had someone to rely on, right? When you do get someone to rely on, you react in one of two ways. You're cautious and skittish and not easy to trust, and you've built up walls. But once someone breaks through those walls and starts to really break through those walls, you react in one of two ways whenever there's negativity anywhere near that. Any sign of rejection at all. And that is, you either cling tighter or you run. You cling tighter or you run, right? I'm the type that clings. Right? When I feel the relationship is starting to break, instead of breaking it off myself, like I believe Hitoshi would, in this case, judging on how he reacted with Aizawa and Hizashi, I have a feeling that in any relationship, friendship, or familiarship, he would be the one to break off first, right? Which can also be a sense of like, not only is it like, okay, you didn't hurt me, I left to my own award, and like, you didn't hurt me. My view of you has not changed because you didn't do anything. I left, right? It could also be a simple thing of control. He's never really had control of where he stays, who he's with, any of that. So he takes what little control he could get in the little places that he can, right? So, as I said, there's those who cling, and then there's those who run. And Hitoshi clearly, out of absolute trauma, ran, right? He doesn't want to destroy that viewpoint he has of Aizawa and Hizashi, right? And he also doesn't want to feel that rejection from Aizawa and Hizashi. And he also wants to have the little bit of control he can. Now, I hope that the person who found him, I may or may not have spoiled myself, so I know who it is, because I needed to know who to voice, right? I hope that the person who found him returns him safely to Aizawa and Hizashi, and I hope we have a really cute episode tomorrow, with the chapter tomorrow being really cute about Aizawa and Hitoshi, and Hizashi talking about what was really going on. And I think what was really going on and what they were discussing is not the punishment in the sense of punishment, but like what and how they needed to talk to Hitoshi about, right? About like, hey, kid did this, what are we gonna do now? Kid went to go with blank, what do we do now? Like, what is the protocol? We haven't discussed this. We need to be like basically discussing on what are we gonna do parenting wise, right? Which is something that you should definitely discuss with your spouse in senses like this. It's very important to be very translucent with your spouse in what you want, because your parenting methods might not align with their parenting methods. What they want to do might not be what you want to do, and it all depends on what the other wants to do. So it's very much you need to discuss how you want to parent your kid, right? And that's something that you need to discuss with your significant other. Otherwise, there's going to be huge discords. So I cannot wait for the next chapter. So as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.